A road rage incident in Glendale, Arizona escalated into gun violence on August 16th of 2025, resulting in the death of a young mother and social media influencer in front of her boyfriend and young child. 27-year-old Yarely Ashley Hermosillo was en route to pick up her mother from work shortly before midnight when a bullet flew through the passenger side of the front windshield and struck her in the face. Her boyfriend drove to a nearby hospital, but she did not survive. Court documents state that the accused shooter, 33-year-old Jesus Preciado Dusten, was involved in an altercation with another driver when he randomly fired a gunshot out his driver's side window. He was angry at a fellow motorist for allegedly pulling out in front of him and causing him to slam on his brakes, leading to a shouting match between the two men. Witnesses told police that Dusten seemed intoxicated, and a friend claimed that he had admitted to shooting an uninvolved party during the confrontation. Following his arrest, Dusten reportedly admitted to driving a truck involved in the shooting, but refused to talk any further and requested an attorney. He faces multiple charges, including second-degree murder and aggravated assault, and was previously accused of punching a fellow driver in the face during a road rage incident that occurred roughly 2 months prior to Hermosillo's death, according to the latest available updates. He remains in custody with bonds set at $1 million. Number 19. Esmeralda Ferrer Garibay. On August 22nd, the bodies of 32-year-old Mexican content creator Esmeralda Ferrer Garibay, her 36-year-old husband, Roberto Carlos Gil Licia, and their 2 children, Gael and Regina, were found wrapped in plastic inside a pickup truck in Guadalajara's San Andres neighborhood. The 4 victims had been executed in what law enforcement officials have described as an apparent cartel hit. Investigators traced surveillance video of the truck to a nearby mechanic shop where they found blood and ballistic evidence, along with spent bullet casings. Police believe that this is where the family was killed, and they suspect that Garibay's husband was the target of the hit. 2 of the shop's employees were detained for questioning and released without charges due to insufficient evidence connecting them to the quadruple homicide. In a disturbing twist, the 2 workers were kidnapped just minutes after leaving the prosecutors by members of a group who spent more than 2 hours lying in wait for them. Authorities are unsure whether the abduction was committed in retaliation for Garibay's murder. Garibay started posting TikTok lip-syncing videos in 2020. Her following eventually grew to more than 43,000 as she transitioned to lifestyle and travel content. She shared her final post on August 7th, which contained a video of Garibay driving her car on her ranch. While officials say there's no evidence to suggest that Garibay or her husband were members of a cartel, the woman's posts often glorified these types of crimes and implied that Licia was possibly involved in organized crime. In reality, Licia's involvement in selling vehicles and tomato farming are thought to have made him a target for murder. The investigation is ongoing. Number 18. Valeria Marquez. 23-year-old Mexican TikToker and beauty influencer Atziri Valeria Marquez Lopez, better known as Valeria Marquez, was gunned down in mid-May in the middle of a live stream at her beauty salon in Jalisco State. During the broadcast, which took place at Blossom the Beauty Lounge in Zapopan, a masked gunman posing as a delivery man could be seen pulling up to the business on a motorcycle. He shot Marquez in the chest and head before fleeing the scene with another man, and an employee promptly picked up the victim's phone and ended the live stream. Marquez died from her injuries, and investigators have classified the case as a possible femicide. The Jalisco prosecutor's office announced plans to summon the young woman's friends and family as witnesses, while police revealed that they were investigating more than one suspect. On June 18th, the U.S. Treasury sanctioned 5 high-ranking members of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, for violence and drug trafficking. Included among them was Ricardo R. Ruiz Velasco, who U.S. officials claim is the prime suspect in Marquez's murder. In a notice announcing the sanctions, authorities described Ruiz, also known as El Tripa, as a senior CJNG lieutenant with ties to the cartel's Special Forces unit. He has been implicated in numerous murders over the past decade, including the killings of police officers, a state official, and a Venezuelan model. Ruiz was reportedly in a months-long relationship with Marquez at the time of the murder, and had gotten angry about the expensive gifts she often received from her fans. Authorities in Jalisco reportedly said that they have no evidence linking Ruiz to the homicide, and encouraged U.S. officials to share any valuable information they may have. Number 17. Maria Jose Estupiñan. Just days after Mexican influencer Valeria Marquez was shot dead during a live stream, Colombian content creator Maria Jose Estupiñan was gunned down at her residence in Cúcuta in an eerily similar fashion. The 22-year-old college student was shot multiple times in the chest and face after being approached on her front porch by a man posing as a delivery driver who fled the scene and appears to remain at large. The murder was captured on surveillance video which showed the shooter running away while Estupiñan's mother screamed in horror and desperation. Just a day before the murder, Estupiñan had been awarded a $7,000 settlement after winning a domestic violence case against her ex-partner, making him an automatic person of interest in the case. The killing was met with widespread outrage from activists who criticized the Colombian government for failing to protect Estupiñan and other victims at a time when the country's femicide rates were peaking at a 7-year high. Updates have not been forthcoming, leaving the current status of the investigation unclear. Number 16. Nicole Brenda Santos Marins. 28-year-old Brazilian fitness influencer Nicole Brenda Santos Marins met her untimely fate in August when she rear-ended a broken-down Fiat Doblo with her Honda Biz motorcycle along a highway in Palhoca. The impact of the crash sent her flying into the middle of the road, where she was then run over by a large truck. The truck's driver sped off without stopping to offer help, and the 31-year-old Fiat owner survived the 3-vehicle crash without injury. An investigation into the circumstances surrounding Marin's death is ongoing. In the meantime, her husband, Alison Cravo, remembered her fondly in social media posts announcing the personal trainer's death, which described Marins as an amazing woman, warrior, worker, and a wonderful mother. Number 15. Javiera Ortiz. 34-year-old surfer and influencer Javiera Ortiz was minding her own business at Rinconada Beach in the Chilean coastal town of Cobquecura in February when she was hit by a speedboat that was being used as a fishing vessel. She was rushed to the hospital where she died from her injuries. Viral footage showed the moment the vessel struck Ortiz, sparking heated debates over clashes between surfers and boats and who has the right of way. The boat's driver was questioned and released, and the authorities said they would continue to investigate the circumstances of the accident to determine whether anyone would be held responsible and for the sake of preventing similar occurrences in the future. As Ortiz's 63,000 followers mourned her passing, the Rinconado de Tochu Surfing Club extended its condolences to the woman's mourners and urged those who engage in aquatic activities to exercise extreme caution. The club also called for better support in entry and exit procedures for boats at sea while reaffirming its commitment to water safety. Number 14. Alysha Burney. Kansas City native Alysha Burney died the day before her 25th birthday in early March due to a medical emergency while vacationing in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, leaving her 5 million followers shocked by the unexpected news. Speaking to Fox 4KC after the tragedy, Burney's brother Charles said that the young woman suffered a fatal asthma attack in her sleep. He said he was sharing details about Burney's death to combat misinformation that was circulating online, including rumors of drug use. Burney was popular across multiple social media platforms where she shared comedic skits. At the time of her death, she was living in Los Angeles and had her own production company, and she was looking forward to her future when it was abruptly cut short. Number 13. Vanessa Konopka. 28-year-old German travel influencer Vanessa Konopka passed away in March following a lengthy battle with an illness that had stranded her at a hospital in the Philippines. She had fallen ill 3 months earlier while attending a party in Boracay with her boyfriend Fernando, whom she ran her Happiness Crossing channel with. Konopka was diagnosed with pneumonia and severe liver damage, which severely weakened her body and left her unable to speak, eat, or walk. She eventually returned to social media where she posted updates on her condition from her hospital bed. Her fans noticed that she appeared jaundiced and expressed their concerns, but Fernando reassured Konopka's followers that she was out of danger and had reunited with her family in Boracay. In the meantime, he appealed to the public for donations toward a medical flight back to Germany, but was unable to raise the 6-figure estimated cost before Konopka passed away 2 weeks later. Number 12. Anna Barbara Buhr Buldrini. A trip to Turkey for plastic surgery proved fatal for 31-year-old influencer and model Anna Barbara Buhr Buldrini, who died just hours after going under the knife in June. She had traveled from Mozambique to Istanbul with her husband, Edgar Miles, to undergo multiple cosmetic surgeries, including a breast augmentation, liposuction, and a rhinoplasty, or nose job. Buldrini had agreed to promote the medical facility, Tourout Hospital, in exchange for the procedures. Miles told reporters that the couple had inquired about changing the date of the surgeries to allow for extra recovery time, and that the procedures were performed several days early at the urging of the surgeon, who had partied with the couple just hours earlier. He said that Buldrini was persuaded into going along with the surgery despite not being ready, and that the doctor had reassured the pair that everything would be fine on the night of the operation. Miles received a photo of Buldrini along with a text reassuring him that his wife was in recovery. He later said that staff began acting strangely and that he waited for over an hour before learning that something had gone terribly wrong. One doctor allegedly told Miles that Buldrini's heart was beating slowly, while another said that she had already died. As it turned out, the model had gone into cardiac arrest after experiencing what hospital officials described as an unexpected complication. In a statement, the facility said that employees spent 90 minutes trying to resuscitate Buldrini before pronouncing her dead. Doctors were detained and questioned but released without charges, and the hospital denied allegations of medical malpractice, while reassuring the public that it was cooperating with an ongoing investigation into the matter. Number 11. Efecan Kultur. As a mukbang streamer, 24-year-old Turkish TikToker Efecan Kultur attracted a following with his extreme eating videos, which showed him gorging on copious amounts of food while he chatted with his fans. But his lifestyle came with obesity-related health problems, and he was hospitalized in December of 2024 after he became unable to stand and began experiencing breathing problems. His mobility was further hampered by constant bruising, rendering him bedridden and dependent on a machine to breathe. Kultur was forced to stop streaming due to his deteriorating condition, and he spent 3 months in a hospital before passing away in March. His final post showed him posing with his caretakers and his mother, who had passed away the previous year. Kultur had been unable to visit his mom's grave due to his health issues in the wake of the influencer's death. The Turkish government has reportedly started to consider new legal regulations surrounding the use of social media to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. Officials have floated the idea of limiting social media use for users under a certain age, while members of the public engage in continued debates over the responsibilities of content creators. Number 10. Stacey Tourout and Matthew Yeomans. Canadian YouTubers Stacey Tourout and Matthew Yeomans were known for their extreme travel adventures in some of the world's most rugged and remote locations, which they shared on their channel, Toyota World Runners. They were perhaps best known for traveling in their custom-built 4x4 Land Cruiser Chinook camping vehicle, which they created in just 100 days. But their tendency to live on the edge ended up costing them their lives on August 7th when the pair were killed in an off-roading accident in British Columbia. According to reports, the couple appeared to have lost control of their vehicle on the mountainous terrain, resulting in a rollover crash. By the time emergency responders reached the scene in Caslow at around 6:30 p.m., one of the individuals had no vital signs. Tourout was found severely injured and disorientated away from the wreck site and was flown to the hospital, where she died later that night. A search and rescue spokesperson said it was unclear whether Tourout and Yeomans were filming at the time of the accident. Their deaths were confirmed by Tourout's mother, Colleen, in a Facebook post paying tribute to the pair and asking followers to keep the couple's families in their prayers as they navigated the devastating end to an amazing love story. Number 9. Ariela Mejia-Polanco. In a horrifying discovery that was made at around 8 a.m. on August 17th, 33-year-old New York City nightlife influencer and mother of 2, Ariela Mejia-Polanco, was found dead in her car along the Cross County Parkway in Mount Vernon. She had been shot multiple times along the highway's eastbound lanes, where her Mercedes SUV was found parked on the shoulder. Better known to her followers as Ariela La Langosta, the social media star had left her job at the Icon New York restaurant and disco lounge at around 4:30 a.m. Her death shocked the community and her 550,000 plus followers, including rapper Garibay, who paid tribute to Mejia-Polanco in an Instagram post. Within days of the tragedy, police announced that they were investigating the case As a targeted killing, Mejia-Polanco often flaunted money, jewelry, and her vehicle in her posts, and she was also friends with the controversial rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine, but authorities have yet to reveal an alleged motive for the murder. Investigators are reportedly working to trace Mejia-Polanco's movements and activities in the days leading up to her death in hopes of determining who wanted to kill her and why. Number 8. Sana Yousaf. With more than 500,000 followers, teenage Pakistani influencer Sana Yousaf was extremely popular among her country's youth. She advocated for female empowerment and education for girls while often donating her social media earnings to support the needy and underprivileged. But her work to improve the world around her came to a tragic end on June 2nd when she was murdered by a stranger at her home in Islamabad. Later identified as 22-year-old Umar Hayat, the gunman forced his way into Yousaf's residence with a pistol and shot her twice in the chest at point-blank range. He then tried to shoot Yousaf's aunt, but the gun jammed. He fled the scene with the murder weapon and the victim's phone, which were both recovered following his capture in Faisalabad later that day. Hayat confessed to killing Yousaf for repeatedly rejecting his offers of friendship and attempts to meet her. He said he had spent hours trying to meet the victim that morning before breaking into her house and shooting her. Yousaf's family did not recall the teen ever mentioning Hayat or saying that she felt threatened or unsafe, indicating that she may have been unaware of the danger that lurked prior to her death. The case is ongoing and the young woman's death has sparked outcries against gender-based violence and demands for public officials to take more action against perpetrators who prey on women. Number 7. Eugene Zhenya Vahin. After immigrating to Canada from Ukraine in late 2024, 33-year-old Eugene Zhenya Vahin quickly took up an interest in ice climbing. Just 9 weeks later, in January of 2025, he died in a climbing accident at a site called the Junkyards in Bow Valley, Alberta. During his short time as an ice climber, Vahin attracted a considerable following on Instagram, where he posted videos documenting his new passion. Many social media users remarked on his apparent lack of skill and proper training, which was reportedly reflected in poor decisions that are not characteristic of experienced climbers. Instead of taking any advice, Vahin fired back at commentators with snarky responses. During an interview with Outside magazine following Vahin's death, his wife, Ekaterina Shurko, said that she became fearful for her husband's well-being when he missed a scheduled check-in call at 4 p.m. She began searching for Vahin an hour later and found his vehicle parked at the trailhead of the site, which the couple had visited many times before. Shurko grabbed first aid supplies and began searching in the dark for her husband, but eventually for help. Emergency responders discovered Vahin's body later that evening and concluded that he had fallen to his death during an unroped climb. In a final video that was posted shortly before Vahin missed the check-in call with his wife, he could be seen standing on the edge of some ice near the top of the route he had taken. While Shurko was unsure exactly what had happened, she speculated that her husband had slipped or stumbled, leading to the severe head injuries and internal bleeding that claimed his life. She further explained that Vahin had recently lost his job at a hotel and was in a bad psychological state, and that she understood the risks of her husband's extreme hobby, but had developed a false sense of comfort after more than 20 previous successful climbs at the site where he was killed. Number 6. Laleska Alexandre. 28-year-old Brazilian fashion influencer Laleska Alexandre amassed more than 26,000 Instagram followers with her content, and her growing fan base was shocked to learn of her unexpected passing in early February. The businesswoman and designer's team revealed that she had died in the city of Juazeiro do Norte after experiencing complications stemming from an ovarian infection. 3 days earlier, Alexandra had started feeling unwell and went to the hospital where she underwent emergency surgery. Doctors discovered the infection during the operation, but it was already at an advanced stage, leading to Alexandra's death from septic shock. Prior to her visit to the emergency room, Alexandra had been suffering from severe cramps. Her condition was later classified as a tubo-ovarian abscess, which can become life-threatening in the event of a rupture. Further details about Alexandra's death were not publicly shared, but her followers expressed their heartbreak and grief in the comments of her social media posts. Number 5. Chris O'Donnell. Known by the handle Creody, 31-year-old fitness influencer Chris O'Donnell passed away in January from a gunshot wound to the head. Foul play was ruled out, causing some of his more than 800,000 followers to look back at his post for signs of inner turmoil. O'Donnell's final post consisted of a 7-minute video of him giving a speech at his brother's wedding. He had started posting less frequently in the months leading up to his death, but a video montage from November of 2024 offered some insight into his mind as he questioned how he would be remembered after his death. O'Donnell had previously described himself as a very solitary person, despite being an outspoken advocate for mental health after experiencing his own struggles starting in high school. He also promoted a sober lifestyle after his own experience with substance abuse and encouraged people to get the help they needed for similar issues. In hindsight, it appears as though he was battling demons that he kept from the world while suffering in silence, ironically highlighting the importance of his own advice to others. Number 4. Malik Taylor. On the morning of Wednesday, August 20th, police responded to a reported emergency in Concord, North Carolina, where they found the lifeless body of 28-year-old comedy influencer Malik Taylor inside an overturned Nissan Rogue. The SUV had fallen 20 feet from a roadway above in what was later described as a single-vehicle accident with no other victims. Officials said that alcohol was believed to play a role in the incident, while listing Taylor's cause of death as blunt force injuries. With 250,000 followers and counting, Taylor was popular for his comedic pop culture takes and POV-style videos. His death was announced by his business fraternity, Alpha Kappa Psi, in a Facebook post which described the content creator as a light to everyone who brightened every room he entered with his laughter, joy, and bright smile. In a statement confirming the tragedy, Taylor's family thanked his fans for their outpouring of love and support while asking for privacy during their time of grief. Number 3. Hailey Okula. Emergency room nurse Hailey Okula spoke openly about her struggles with infertility on social media while documenting her pregnancy with her first child, garnering a following of more than 420,000 fans. She died unexpectedly in late March from childbirth-related complications after giving birth to her first son. Hailey's husband, Los Angeles firefighter Matthew Okula, announced her passing in an Instagram post containing a montage of footage from throughout her pregnancy. During a later interview with Fox 11 Los Angeles, he explained that Hailey had just undergone a C-section when doctors informed him that they were doing CPR on her. Everything had seemed fine just a minute earlier, catching Matthew by complete surprise after he left the operating room with the couple's newborn son in his arms. Hailey passed away from cardiac arrest after suffering a rare complication known as an amniotic fluid embolism. There's reportedly no way to diagnose or treat the condition, which is characterized by amniotic fluid, fetal cells, hair, or other debris entering the mother's circulatory system, ultimately leading to cardiovascular collapse. After struggling with infertility and in vitro fertilization treatment for 2 years, the Okulas had joyfully shared news of Hailey's pregnancy on the same social media account that Matthew used to announce his wife's tragic death 9 months later. Both the online and local communities came together to help Matthew by contributing to a crowdfunding campaign as he navigated his new life as a single father in the wake of his wife's unexpected passing. Number 2. Natalia Cavanellas. In what public officials later described as a sudden death, 40-year-old Brazilian influencer Natalia Cavanellas passed away on July 7th after going into cardiac arrest during plastic surgery at a Sao Paulo hospital. Shortly after news of her death broke, authorities said that they were actively investigating the cause of Cavanellas' death. Representatives for Dr. Edgar Lopez, who performed the procedure, claimed in a statement that Cavanellas had succumbed to a pulmonary embolism, a rare but serious complication which can arise despite any preventative measures that are taken. The letter further stated that the surgery was performed in a suitable hospital setting and that all preoperative exams were completed in accordance with safety protocols and medical monitoring. Cavanellas had more than 130,000 followers on Instagram, where she posted about networking and strategic positioning. In her bio, she described herself as an entrepreneur and leader of a community of over 800 female business owners and executives. Her death was announced by her husband, Rafael Tomazella, who described Cavanellas as the kind of person that everyone loves, admires, and will always keep her alive in our memories. Number 1. Gloria Zamora. 40-year-old fitness influencer and mother of 7, Gloria Zamora had just publicly announced her plans to get a divorce when she and her new boyfriend, Hector Garduno, were gunned down in the parking lot of a sushi restaurant in Fontana, California in late June. The shooting caught the attention of a nearby off-duty San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy who made a U-turn and headed in the direction of the noise. He caught up with the gunman, who was later identified as Zamora's estranged husband, 45-year-old Thomas Alberto Tomeo Lizarraga, and fatally shot the man during the confrontation that ensued. A law enforcement spokesperson said that investigators were unsure how Lizarraga knew where to find Zamora and Garduno, and that the couple had been at the restaurant for about an hour prior to their deaths. Just days earlier, Zamora had revealed her intentions to end her 15-year marriage to her 150,000-plus followers on the Horizon podcast. Shortly after news of her death broke, authorities said that the investigation into the case was ongoing. In the meantime, some insight into Zamora's deteriorating marriage was offered by her 24-year-old daughter, Jaslyn, who told NBC Los Angeles that Lizarraga had been very physically and emotionally abusive toward her mother. She further added that every day was a fight, an argument, and an issue, while the circumstances surrounding the case further suggest that Lizarraga flew into a jealous rage after being unable to accept his wife's decision to move on. Thanks for watching. Do you think influencers make the world a better place or not? Share your thoughts in the comments below.